What's up, guys? How are you getting on? What's the story? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through a upper body workout that I've been working with for about 3 months, I think. I've tried so many and this one seems to be going really well. Basically what I've been trying to do is address an issue that I've had for years of training, which is I've always felt I've been stuck in the middle between size and strength. I've lacked always in both. You want one of them. Usually one of them is okay. And I've tried many different ways of training, and I've been fiddling around, and this sort of program that I've come up with seems to be working at the moment. Now, it's not anybody's program. It's just me, trial and error, going through exercises, seeing what I've changed to is now just what feels good. I've recently kind of revamped my whole philosophy on training itself. Like, the feeling that an exercise gives me, usually I'm going to rank that much higher because everybody's body is different, like down to every tendon, every muscle, and especially your mind muscle connection, how you can contract your muscles and how much benefit you're going to get from each exercise. I've been working a lot more on feel in general in the gym, just everything feeling. How does it feel? What's the contraction like? And go from there. Another thing that I've implemented a lot is just working on my weaknesses. Let's say, for instance, my lats. I've always been so bad at pull-ups, like so bad. I've always been jealous of people who can do pull-ups, and especially weighted pull-ups. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how can you do that? And instead, I would focus on lateral pull downs, any sort of lateral pull down, and that felt really good for me. Like, I have good contraction in my lats, I have a good back, but I could never do pull-ups, and I would run away from the pull-ups. But now I'm like, no, this is going to be your exercise. You're going to get good at pull-ups, and it seems to be working. So I've just been really stubborn with some of the weaknesses that I've had and just going to train them and see how it goes. Anyway, so let's get into it. This is my gym. My gym is lovely. My gym is 2 minutes from my house, 2-minute walk. It's unbelievable. It's called Alta Fit, and seems to be a pretty bodybuilding focused gym. They also have some really nice facilities downstairs for CrossFit and for boxing, but mainly it seems to be bodybuilding. So yeah, today's an upper body workout. The way I've been training has been full upper body, full lower body, and then isolation. First exercise, very classic, flat dumbbell press. Now, this one was really uncomfortable for me, I'm not going to lie, and it's because I've never filmed myself pressing on camera, so I was genuinely nervous. So off the bat, kick up, arch the back, pin the shoulders back. I've started using the tape just for that extra stability. I find it really helps. Now, the depth on these, I would like a little bit more. Like, at the start, the reps are good. They're fast, so I feel strong. I've got 70 kilos there. I can lift a bit more, but in terms of form, I like to keep it there, and I'm going for hypertrophy. But you can see there, my elbows are going down, so maybe 90 degrees is okay, but I feel like the dumbbells aren't quite touching the chest like they could. So what I might do is start dropping the weight after. I'll do these sets, and then I'll drop the weight down to 60. And bring it all the way down, or even a little bit in the negative, to see how it goes. Number 2, then we're going on to a horizontal row. Now, I love horizontal rowing. It feels so good on the mid lats, the lower lat, and just the middle back. Now, I have this kind of new philosophy I've been using in terms of training. What would used to happen is I would get into a good rhythm of a program, but then say the gym is busy one day and you go in and someone's on the machine or the specific thing you want to use, and it like totally throws you off your training. You don't want to wait around, and you're just like, the day is ruined, you know, whereas it absolutely isn't. So what I'm trying to do is just think of training a part of my body, and whatever way I want to do it on the day, I can do it. It sort of adds a little bit of freedom in your training and creativity, well, not creativity, but you can have a bit of fun. If one day I don't want to do this style of row, I'll do another one. You know, I'll do a close grip cable row or something. And that's been a lot of fun. So today I went for just a supported bench row. I feel really good with this exercise. So I'm not lifting too heavy. It's only 30 kilo per hand. But I think I've done really well with the form and not bending that elbow. I don't want to be one of those people who says, like, you see a lot of people doing this, but you kind of do. People who bend the elbow too much, and you can see you're just not working the middle back like you want. If you feel it too much in your forearms and your bicep, if your bicep is burning after this exercise, it's not hitting that kind of lower lat to middle back as best as you want. Now, obviously, everyone's going to be a bit different. Also, what I like to do in this exercise is let that shoulder roll forward and stretch right here on the negative. I find that really helps. And just all I'm doing is thinking so hard on just, you're using your arms like levers effectively. And I'm just thinking, if I didn't have any arms and I just had to lift from the side of my back, how would I do that? And yeah, I think the form is good. I'm really happy with this. My back has done a lot of good development in terms of strength lately. Now, my body in general is quite imbalanced. It's some parts of my body I feel like are way OP, and some are just like so weak. So there's a lot of imbalances, and it's a journey. We're gonna fix it. Like, I've been training for about 10 years, and yeah, when did I start? I think 16, maybe 15, but 16 in Dublin. I started going to the gym with some friends who lived around the area. I wouldn't have known anything. I would have been quite overweight as well. And yeah, so now I'm 26, so about 10 years. And I'd say only in the last 2 years I've really started to connect with my body and see and understand how I work, making every mistake in the book, every form mistake, every ego lift, everything, literally. And lately I've just started to ramp everything right back and start again, kind of start from scratch, but with all this knowledge that I've collected just from going 4, 5, 6 times a week. Now, there's been some down spots. Like, for the last 10 years, I haven't gone consistently 4, 5, 6 times a week. I would have good periods where I would, and then I would sort of fall out of love with it or lose the motivation. Then I'd come back. You start from scratch again. So the next exercise we're hopping into here is going to be the chest press. Now, the chest press is something that I never got used to properly until now. Now, the way I set it up is exactly like I would with the bench. I'm really trying to pin the shoulders back and just get all of the movement from the chest and get a big squeeze at the top. I can see my right shoulder is popping up a bit. That's just my posture. That's a problem there, where when I push this right shoulder is trying to get that, it's trying to get that shoulder involved to get the weight up, so I can keep that a little flat and make sure they're down. But I'm happy with these enough. I'm doing 3 sets on the chest press, working the weight up and dropping the reps. So I'm going 12, 10, 8. Okay, so next up we've got pull-ups, as I chatted about before. Now, pull-ups, the bane of my life. I'm super proud to say that I've got a 7.5 kilo under my legs, and I think this was for about 6, 7, 8 reps, with the last one form kind of falling a bit, but that's fine. I've gotten much better with lifting from the lats. It does look as though I'm rounding over, and I guess it could be a slight amount, but my back is just kind of round anyway. I'm really trying to work on posture lately, but I do have it a bit curved, and it feels really good after doing a couple of sets with the weight and then dropping it. Right now, like, that rep speed is much quicker than what I used to be able to do with just my body weight. So I'm super happy with that. I can see my shoulders are much bigger than they used to. That really helps just the stability of my lats. And yeah, no, it feels really good. I'm super proud. So I think I knocked out 9 or 10 for a couple of sets. I've only filmed like 1 set for this just to keep the video short. But yeah, I'm really happy with how my back is progressing and the pull-ups. Okay, next up, lateral raises, right? I love lateral raises. Now, lately I've actually completely wiped out doing any sort of military pressing because my shoulders were just not progressing in strength. I'd be fatigued with my chest because the front delts were just getting hit too much. So what I've started to do is just strength train for lateral raises, and I've really seen a big improvement in my side delts, my lateral delts, side delts, whatever, you know what I mean. So I'll actually do 2 movements today. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do or film the cable lateral raise, but I'll do 2 movements. I'll train first for strength with about 12.5 in each hand, 6 to 8 reps, and then do the reverse pyramid again. Work up to about 12.5 or 15 kilo in each hand, and the form's got to be good. Like, I'm really, really picky about form. It's got to be slow, it's got to be controlled, and just do not get those traps engaged. Keep the tension on the lateral delt there, or the side delt. I don't know. Doesn't matter. These terminology doesn't matter. I know what I'm doing for the side delts. So anyway, 6 to 8 reps, and then later on in the workout, I'll go to alternative arm cable lateral raises, and they're unbelievable because you keep the tension on the side delt the whole way through the movement. Whereas when you're lifting with the dumbbells, I really try not to jerk the weight up, because on the eccentric, the weight is not as heavy as it is. You know what I mean? Because you're jerking the weight up. So when that weight is moving from point A to point B, it's not as heavy as when you're holding it like dead out like that. You know, when you're just holding it flat. So I train for strength. I do try and keep it slow, and then later on in the workout, I'll train hypertrophy with the cables, and that just completely wipes out the shoulders. And I found that I'm now stronger with the shoulders. Like when I randomly just go to do a military press, I can actually lift heavier than I used to be able to when I trained for military pressing, or even just regular dumbbell pressing. And as I said, it got me fatigued for chest days, because my front delts were just getting absolutely slaughtered, and my shoulders also feel much healthier. So if a doctor or a physical therapist will come in and be like, no, that, you know, that's wrong, you need to train that kind of vertical movement. But I have found my shoulder is much less rickety and is stronger just by training my sides and my rear delts. So then I'm finishing off with some cable flies. The camera, I put it way too close, so it's a shocking angle. I'll get a better one next time. But I really like these ones because you're able to train the shorter head of the muscle. You know, like when you're pressing, you can't reach that full range of motion. Whereas with the cables, you can get all the way across. So you just get that little extra bit contraction, which is going to work the muscle really nicely. And it's just a great way to completely burn out. I'm also hitting it from that kind of a decline angle. I don't like to decline press. And again, you're just keeping the tension and working the pecs from all angles. So I really enjoy this one just to finish up. I think 100% you should enjoy every exercise you're doing. Now, it's okay if you're training to get better at something, you know, and you don't feel it as good the first like 2 weeks, that's fine. But if something feels bad after a month and you're just not enjoying doing it, don't do it. There's another way to do something. Always there's another way to do it. Again, like I said, with that sort of philosophy of training a body part instead of going for this one exercise. So for instance, yes, I did say I don't like to barbell press, but if all of the flat benches, the free benches are taken, I will flat press, or I'll go to the incline and I'll try as hard as I can to get a similar connection, or just train, I'm just training the chest. I'm not going in and be like, oh, the flat press is taken. I put myself in a bad mindset and not be able to have a good session. All the back exercises I do as well. Today I did on the bench, I did the alternative rowing with the dumbbells. But if the flat benches are taken, I can either use something else, or I'll go to a horizontal row. The same with the pull-ups. If the pull-up bar is taken, we'll go for the lat pull downs, and we'll try and lift some heavier weight and improve that way. So there's always a workaround, and trying to get my head out of that really specific, if it's not there, it's ruined the day, and just train for the movement, train for the muscle, and just train for the enjoyment. It's kept me going, it's kept me showing up. I'm there for the last, I'd say 2 months. I've been really consistent about 6 days a week. So I do upper lower isolation, slightly different upper lower isolation, and rest on Sundays. And yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope it was enjoyable to watch for anybody who likes going to the gym. I know I love all I spend my mornings doing when I'm having my breakfast and my coffee is just watching other people train. Something I enjoy doing. So if you like training, maybe you get a kick out of this. And otherwise, I hope you're keeping well. Have a sick week. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.